So the time, honestly, is right now. This is the time that we need to do something, that we need to prepare. Now, for most of 2022, I've been warning viewers here on this channel that they need to be prepared because honestly, we don't know what's to come. But many people have asked, why? Why should I prepare? What is actually coming? Right? Nobody knows. And honestly, that's why I say we have to prepare because we don't know what's coming. We're all in this together. Now, I've talked about food shortages and many people have said, what food shortage? There's no food shortage in my area. I've also addressed things like rising inflation. But a lot of people say, well, everything's rising. There's not much we can do about it. And I even talked about a possible power outage and the rising cost of energy. But again, some people say, well, here in the United States, electricity is just so reliable that you don't be Chicken Little. Don't say the sky is falling when the sky is not falling. We will be just fine. Well, let's talk about the warning that we were given today. Now, for most people, you're probably not going to be, you probably didn't get this warning, okay? It probably does not make a difference to you because this warning is for people in California. Because the state of California declared a power grid emergency, and they did that this morning. They did that today on Labor Day. Now, they stated that millions of homes and businesses turning on their air conditioners or turning them up, right? Running them longer in order to cope with rising temperatures in excess of 110 degrees. This is what is causing a potential rolling blackout, okay? Because they say the amount of electricity used just from this temperature or this heat wave is going to exceed the highest levels that we have seen since 2017, okay? And this is going to raise the likelihood of rolling blackouts. Now, this is why state officials have warned residents to conserve energy. They were telling residents last week to turn off your pool heaters. Don't run a pool heater if we are having temperatures at 100 to 110 degrees. We don't need a pool heater. Your pool will be warm enough. They've been telling people with electric vehicles, don't charge your electric vehicle every day. Don't charge as much, right? Conserve energy. Officials even told residents to not cook from a stove or oven as it raises the temperature in your home. Now, it does do that. However, you're telling people not to eat. You're telling people not to drive. And yeah, you're telling people not to turn on their pool heaters so it's very comfortable. Okay, I get it. Conserve energy. Now, I don't want to make this video all about California because only a fraction of my audience is even in California. But consider this. California is one of the most profitable states in the United States. And they are having trouble with their power grid at the moment. So when people tell me that, my state, we are perfectly fine, right? We don't have, excessive heat. Okay. So they're perfectly fine. Here in Washington State, we don't get excessive heat. Now, yeah, we've had it where it's over 110 degrees. No big deal, right? I'm used to it. But in Washington State, last year in particular, there were parts of the state that were buried in like 2 to 3 feet of snow that accumulated in just 24 hours. And so if you lived in that part of the state or in those parts, guess what? There weren't trucks coming in. Gas was not being transported in because trucks couldn't get over the passes. People that live in the Midwest, they get hit all the time with tornadoes, right? And if you live in the Midwest, okay, and if you can, you'll back me up on this. Do you have a certain stockpile of food? In many homes, and I know a handful of people that do live in the Midwest, and they have a kind of like a bunker, something underneath their house, right? A cellar that they go down into, right? And if there's a tornado coming through, they get down under their house, they lock themselves in, okay? And they have food, they have water, right? Things like that. And then people in the South, you guys get hit with hurricanes, right? And so if you're not prepared, you don't have flashlights, you don't have candles, lighters, matches, blankets, extra water, food. What do you do? Right? What do you do? And here's the interesting part about all this. Every person should be somewhat prepared for what could come. Do you have enough water stocked up? Is your cabinet full of food that doesn't have to be cooked? Or if it does have to be cooked, is it being cooked in the microwave? If it's being cooked in the microwave, chances are you're not preparing the way you should be. If you have to cook something, you need to be able to cook this over like an outdoor fire or eat it cold. Maybe you have ways to keep meats cold, because guess what? If the electricity goes out for days, are you going to be able to keep your foods cold? Things like meat, cheese, dairy products. But what if it gets cold? Do you have a way to stay warm, for instance? Do you have gas-powered heaters, not just electric? Do you have additional blankets and coats and pants and all that stuff that you need, right? Lighters and matches and firewood, right? We just got to be prepared. Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to happen to everybody, but all I'm saying is things are slowly getting worse. Now, I'm not saying we're going to see power outage just sweeping the United States. Could happen, but I don't think it is. But what I am saying is we are seeing shortages of food. We are seeing electricity is getting more expensive, right? All these things. Now, I want to read a comment from a community member here. Her name's Samantha. She sent me this in an email. Adam, my family and I live in Southern California and have been prepping for a little over 1 month. We don't have a lot as of yet, but after hearing your message about stores selling out of essentials, we have started to create a stockpile. And this week, now that we are expecting to see power out in our area, we are glad that we listened to you a while back. Thank you for your honesty and thank you for spreading the warnings that you have seen. Now, again, that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing is just kind of talking about the warnings that I've seen, that I've been getting from insiders and people that live across the United States, friends of mine, people here in the community that comment and say, you know what, you're right. We have seen that Walmart doesn't sell those products anymore, and we can't get them anywhere in our area. Okay? So this is why I say the time is now. The time is now to prepare. Now, we never know when we might need to utilize some of our resources and our supplies. And if you don't have any supplies, then really you're kind of out of luck, because there's nothing you can do. If stores don't have the items you need, they don't have the medication that you require for whatever, you need to make sure you have some on hand, right? It's like the person that doesn't get insurance, because why would I pay for insurance when that just means I only use it if I have an accident? Well, you prepare, you plan ahead, right? It is insurance. That's all it is, okay? So, all I got for you guys today is just get something, be prepared, have some form of relief, okay? Because the Samantha, who's living in Southern California, when she says she doesn't have much, but she has a little bit, she started to create a stockpile. I bet you that she feels better that she has a little bit as opposed to having nothing at all. Okay? So, that's my warning for you guys for today. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen to everybody, but there's going to be a lot of people that are impacted by what's going on, not just in California, but all across the United States and all across the world. So again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. And if you can do one thing for me, let me know what it is that you are seeing in your area. Are you worried about power outages? Are you worried about shortages? Maybe electricity is getting very expensive. Maybe you are, chances are you are going to have a very cold winter. Let me know. I'm just curious. You can always answer down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.